Guys, one of the things that I like to track are positive and negative divergences in the MACD. The MACD was one of the very first technical indicators that I used close to 30 years ago. And one of the great things about MACD is that it can tell you a trend is possibly about to change well before the trend actually changes. And it does this by presenting negative and positive divergences. Here's what that means. When you get price, usually with MACD, you'll get price and MACD matching up. So as price moves higher here, you get MACD moving higher here. But look at what happens with Bitcoin. As price moves higher here, MACD actually moves lower here. That's a negative divergence. So the price of the underlying of the instrument you're trading, in this case Bitcoin, is making new highs while MACD is rolling over and moving lower. And you can see you get a continued divergence with Bitcoin as price moves sideways here, and you basically end up with a double top right here and here, a double top. But MACD, instead of moving sideways, continued to move lower. And this was an early warning signal, again, along with the double topping action, that the move higher in Bitcoin had ended. So again, that's a negative divergence. But look at what happens over the past couple of months with Bitcoin, and we get just the opposite. And obviously, one of the reasons I'm pointing this out is where Bitcoin is moving the past couple of days. But look at the price of Bitcoin here, moving lower from this 76.5 level down to just below the 75,000 level, while at the same time, your MACD is moving higher. So here you get a positive divergence in MACD and Bitcoin. And the result being that's the end of this downtrend, and Bitcoin is breaking out to the upside now. Here's another example with Amazon. Look at this move as Amazon topped. You went from this 232 area up to a high of 242, but at the same time, the price was moving higher and setting higher highs. You had the MACD beginning a downtrend, and see how MACD topped here in connection with this price move. And look at where MACD is with this move, again, which is a higher high for Amazon, but MACD is moving lower. The reason it does this is because MACD is a measure of momentum. So even though you can't see it when you look at the chart and you just think, oh, it's making new highs and moving higher, look at the way it did that here. New high, and MACD was still climbing. So the momentum was still intact. And even here, the momentum was still intact, right? New high in MACD as the stock makes a new high. But then when you get another new high, and this is obviously the daily chart that we're looking at, but your MACD rolls over, it's telling you that this momentum is slowing, even though you're not seeing that by just looking at the chart, right? You're seeing a new high. It's behaving really well. Touches the 20, moves higher, hugs the 20, moves higher, back to the 20, moves higher. In this chart, this is the simple moving average, the 20. Higher, comes back, drops a little below the 20, but catches again and bounces higher off the 20. But this time when it catches the 20, you get that move lower. And again, MACD has foretold that move by not making a higher high itself, but rolling over. So again, a negative divergence in Amazon, which at a minimum, that should make you wary if you're long, right? It's not saying jump in short because this is definitely going to roll over, but it's a time you want to tighten up stops if you're long Amazon at a minimum. So let's look at one more that is shaping up and looking like it's bottoming here. And obviously coin is related to Bitcoin, but look at the positive divergence that's formed as coin moved lower to touch this 142.5 level, look at what MACD is doing during that time, right? MACD is on an upward trajectory. You have a higher low, and now the stock has turned again, along with Bitcoin, but now the stock is above the 20, which is just beginning to flatten out a little bit. And you have MACD moving higher with the stock now. But again, another example of positive divergence. With Coinbase, you also have a double bottom here back in September of 24 that coincides with this bottom here in April of this year, which at a minimum, again, should make you wary if you're short coin here. And I would be more inclined to look for long entries, long setups in coin than short setups at this point. So again, that's negative and positive divergences on the MACD. Should put you on notice to be looking for signs of tops or bottoms when you get those divergences. I hope you found this video helpful. Please hit like and subscribe. Post in the comments any questions you have. Happy to answer. And thanks for watching the video.